Hey, what's going on, family? Welcome back to day number 10 of our 31 days of wisdom. Hey, well, we are journeying through the book of Proverbs. Why to get wisdom? It's really as simple as that. And I hope that you have been enjoying this series, that you've been tuning in, opening up your Bibles every day of this week and going along with it. And so I want to thank you, want to welcome you back. Hey, if this is your first time, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. I want to grow this community. I want you to be a part of this community as well as those who are seeking wisdom, but also just joining a community of like-minded people. You know, as we are going through the book of Proverbs, one of my favorite Proverbs is Proverbs 27, verse 17, and it says, iron sharpen iron. And so one man sharpens another. And so that is what we're here to do. We're here to sharpen one another, and we're here to do this thing together and go after the things of God and grow together. And so thank you for joining me. We're just going to keep it rolling. If, again, this is your first time, I'd recommend you go ahead and check out the other videos, get caught up, or begin with this one and then go back. But glad to have you. And for those tuning back in, hey, give yourself a round of applause. You have made it to day 10 of this 31 days of wisdom. So, hey, we're going to get right into it. We are in Proverbs 10, and today we are in Proverbs 10, verse 19. And honestly, probably another one of my favorite Proverbs, probably top 10. And it says, when words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. In other words, you gotta learn to shut your mouth. Man, how many times, first of all, you know, Hollywood could probably use this proverb, but that's another story. But how many times have you and I said something and immediately right after that thing came out of our mouths, this thing here, we regretted it? And that's really what Proverbs 10:19 is talking about, is that the more you talk, the more likely that something is going to slip out and you're going to fall into saying something that you did not mean or didn't want to say. And so really Proverbs 10, starts this series of contrasts between living righteous and living wicked. And so we see that in these, separate proverbs, right, that could be considered proverbs by themselves. And so that's why it's a little easier to kind of, take out these gems from these proverbs. But chapter 10 does that really well. And really the main thought, as I just mentioned, is that of righteous living and wicked living. And we'll see that highlighted by the word but. We'll see but a lot in these proverbs. And so as we saw in Proverbs 10:19, when words are many, transgression is not lacking, but whoever restrains his lips is prudent. So a wise person knows when to be quiet. I don't know if you've ever experienced this where you're just randomly sitting around or you're going to bed, you're winding down for the night. And then all of a sudden, this thought in your mind of something you said probably years ago found its way from the vault of the back of your mind, and it makes its way to the forefront. And you just ask yourself, why did I say that? Why did I say this thing? And I think Proverbs 10:19 is one that we could apply to our everyday life. Is we gotta learn as wise people when to stop talking. See, it reminds me of James chapter 1, verse 19, where it says, know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Slow to speak, because we know that out of this can be a lot of danger. It can come to destruction. We've seen that in Hollywood. We've seen that in the lives of a lot of famous people who they said something a long time ago and it caught up to them. And in a matter of seconds, it cost them their entire career. So we must be wise. We must be willing to accept these words that are found in Proverbs, that we should be able to restrain our lips. In other translations says, he who keeps his tongue is wise. Those who keep their tongue, it's that old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. We tell our kids that all of the time. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. It's better to keep something evil from coming out of your mouth, something that is going to cause destruction. It is wise to keep that thing behind sealed lips. And then further on in James chapter 3, where it portrays how powerful the tongue is. And it says, so also the tongue is a small member, this small thing, right? Yet it boasts of great things. Great. We could do a lot of life-giving with the words that we speak. We could accomplish a lot with the words that we speak. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. Look at that word picture for a second. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. How great is one's career, one's relationship, one's destiny in life. How great are those? But that can be set ablaze, that can be destroyed in a matter of minutes by such a small fire. By words uttered out of our mouths, we can set ablaze our relationships, our destinies, our careers. And so we must be slow to speak. And then again, in James chapter 3, verse 6, it says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among our members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. So we get this imagery, we get this powerful imagery that this tongue that we have, this thing here, can really cause destruction. And so we ought to be wise people, that we know that when words are many, that there can be transgression, there can be sin, things can come out that we don't want it to come. And really, Solomon here is not talking about, because obviously there are people who speak for a living. It's not just blah, 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 blah. But rather, the point is that a wise person knows when to stop talking. They know when to respond. They also know when to just let things go and be quiet. And finally, James, that same verse, that same chapter, verse 8, it says, but no human being can tame the tongue. Wow. No human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. So it ought to be a convicting and ought to be a chilling reminder that our words can cause destruction. This tongue, that we hear that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So we have the ability to speak life. We also have the ability to speak death. And so we must be wise in what we say. And so the last thing I want to say about that is, the things that we say, we don't just say these things. And in other words, the words that we speak don't just form themselves. The Bible talks about I believe it's in Matthew, Jesus says, but what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles a person. So we know that what is coming out of our mouth is simply an overflow of what is going in. And so meaning if it's coming out, that means something is coming in. And so we must understand that our words, we don't just, say these things, but it's because we have probably been we have probably been in that environment. We are probably consuming that thing. And then it is just a matter of time. A simple, statement, a word can cause destruction in a matter of minutes. And then later on in Luke chapter 6, verse 45, it says, the good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. So it's all about what we're taking in here. And it's an overflow of what is coming out of our mouths. And so, as Proverbs 10:19 tells us, when words are many, transgression is not lacking. But whoever restrains his lips is prudent, is wise. And so we must be people who want to live wise and long and prosperous, know when to keep our mouths shut. So there you have it, family. Hopefully that was a blessing to you. Once again, probably top 10 of my favorite Proverbs to live by, because it indeed will allow you to live longer, prolong your life. And so just know when to stop talking. So hopefully that was a blessing. Thanks for joining me on this one. Let me know what you guys think about this one. And if you've ever found yourself in a sticky situation from the things that you've spoken. Love to hear from you guys. So until next time, I'll see you guys here once again for day 11 of our 31 days of wisdom. God bless you.